Rockstar gang, what up? What up? Appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Welcome to the Rockstar Report, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate everyone in here. Appreciate everyone being in here. Oh man, we are live in in my hotel room. We're live in my hotel room, ladies and gentlemen. So here we are in Virginia Beach, nonetheless. Virginia Beach. All right, hold on. I'm gonna move this. All right, we gotta fix some things here. I just don't want that blaring in my face. There we go. So what up, ladies and gentlemen? What up? What up? Appreciate everyone joining the live stream. I told y'all I was gonna go live while I was away. I told y'all. Hold on. I gotta fix my lighting. I'll put this up here too. Put this up here. See, when you travel, man, and you do YouTube like this, you got to have tools. You got to have tools. Are you not charging? Is this thing not charging? I'm going to be pissed. Hold on. All right, mic check. Here we go. Sorry about that. Ladies and gentlemen, can you hear me? Mic good? Everybody good? Can you hear me? Sorry. When you're working on the road, it's different. When you're working on the road with like this, guys, it's totally different. It's totally different. So can y'all hear me okay? 16 people watching. You good? All right, perfect. All right, so shout out to you guys in here. Rob Walk, Roadmaster, Isaiah, DC Gambler, Marcos Cash, Roadmaster, Toxic Black. Shout out to you guys in here. Appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Boy, do I got a good show for you today. We're going to break down everything Carolina Panthers. We're going to break down everything of the Las Vegas Raiders. We're also going to break down everything in the NFL for week 3. So if that is your bugaboo, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Glad everybody's here. I'm doing this on the road while working. I was here for a 2-day conference. Just got done with that. Went to the gym this morning. I just done it all, man. Done it all. And now I'm here. I even got a presentation for you. All right. Well, I got a presentation for you today. So appreciate everyone doing the live stream on the road in Virginia Beach, working my other job while I'm still being able to bring y'all some content, man. So I'm glad I'm here. So I appreciate everyone joining. Make sure you smash the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I would greatly appreciate it. All right, let's get right into it. Let's just get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. All right, whatever. Yeah, okay, whatever. All right, here we go. Let's get right into this, man. We're going to break this down first things first because I got a lot to say. Ladies and gentlemen. I do. Actually, do I want this one? No, I want this. And we're going to edit myself real quick here. Ah, shit. They're already honking the horns downstairs. What did someone do now? All right. Hey, yo. Okay. Thank you. That should be good. All right, perfect. Now you can see me a little bit better. All right, so first things first, ladies and gentlemen, let's just get right into it. All right. Carolina Panthers benching Bryce, to me, again, is an organizational failure. Okay, that's what it is. All right. That as an organization, this is a failure. Okay. All right. What they have done as a whole organization has failed. This not only themselves, not only Bryce Young, but the whole organization. All right, because the Carolina Panthers are a fucking disaster, and that there's no sugarcoating this at this point, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, there is no sugarcoating this. We're spiraling into a black hole of incompetency once again, and we are still the latest embarrassment of the NFL. And you bench Bryce Young, and if you think it's just a one-time mistake, then guys, y'all need to buckle up because this is a full-blown organizational failure, folks. And let's start with week 2. Because Jesus, take the wheel. That was rough. Carolina stumbled around, man. The field like a drunk wedding. I mean, they were desperately searching for some kind of spark of hell. And any identity at all. And they're just looking at the body language, and this team is already broken, bro. Like, they look defeated, lifeless. It's honestly depressing when I watch these locker room talks. Fans who are still holding on for some glimmer of hope for this kid. And it's literally just for Bryce Young. It's not the glimmer of hope of the organization. All these fans are having want this glimmer of hope for this kid. But football's supposed to be fun, but in Carolina, it hasn't been that way in years. Like, now all the eyes are on this kid who is supposed to be this franchise savior, but spoiler alert to all you guys that want this kid to be the savior of this organization. Okay? He's not. Or at least not with this train wreck of a coaching staff that it's been right now and this front office, because no offense, some fans have been vocal from the start that throwing Young into the fire in his first season was a mistake. And those concerns have now just hit a boiling point. And after that disaster against the Chargers, right? So when your rookie quarterback is getting so close to setting records for the worst performance in NFL history, it's pretty clear that things are off the rails in Charlotte, North Carolina. Like, Bryce Young is a deer in the headlights, okay? And the Panthers are doing nothing to help him. So let's break it down real quick for you. He threw for a total of 84 fucking yards on 26 attempts. Yes, you heard that correctly. 84 yards on 26 attempts. Like 18 completions, 84 yards, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions. What the hell is this? Is this Pop Warner football? Like, it's obvious like this kid confidence is completely shattered. You can see it in his face. And after every fumble, every interception, he is just defeated. And he's not just struggling, he's broken. And when you lose that type of swagger, that belief in yourself is over. And the Panthers, in their infinite wisdom, decided to bench him just 2 games into the season. And then Dave Canales, the head coach, is already making a desperate move, like he's coaching for his job. And guess what? Wouldn't be surprised if he is, because of lemon head drop head David Tepper right there on the screen that you see. And here's the thing. starting a rookie quarterback immediately is almost never a good idea. And why they ever thought it was is beyond me. But in Carolina, they just threw him to the wolves. We look great on paper. We are only one position group away from being a contender, from Scott Shitterer. Like, this coaching staff and front office has done absolutely nothing to ease him into the role. And the play calling was laughable. The offensive line might as well be non-existent. There was zero effort to develop him. And if you wanted to watch someone implode in real time, all you had to do was tune into a Panthers game, ladies and gentlemen. So, again, like, meanwhile, you got this defense, all right, is out here busting their asses trying to keep this team afloat, okay? And despite the offense constantly putting them into horrific positions, yeah, there are some issues with the run defense, especially with Derek Brown out. And they still held up for the most part. Special teams, fine. Secondary, other than at one blown coverage play, pretty damn solid. But the offense, I mean, Jesus, this offense is a dumpster fire, ladies and gentlemen. Like, watching the Panthers trying to move the ball is like watching a toddler try to run at a marathon. Like, it's not just it's not just happening. And that's why Andy Dalton, the vet, is now under center. Like, Dalton's not taking this team to the Super Bowl, but hell, he's not even taking them to the playoffs. But at least finally, they'll have a quarterback can complete a pass. Here's the harsh truth that the Panthers fans and everyone else needs to figure out, and this organization, is that what are their skill players capable of? What is Deontay Johnson capable of? What is Xavier Legette capable of? Is Jonathan Mingo capable of what they got? What is these other guys on this? What is Tommy Tremble capable of? I think Tommy Tremble's got a lot of potential. Same thing with Jadavion Sanders. I think you have a two-headed monster right there in the tight end room. You got Jonathan Brooks coming back here soon. What's that running back room going to look like? Is Miles Sanders going to be on this team? Is Chuba Hubbard finally going to get that the running game that we've been so called that we were told about, that we were going to be a run first team? Are we going to finally see some of these skill players actually get involved in this offense the way it's supposed to be and the way it's supposed to be run? You can't evaluate your receivers and running backs when your quarterback can't even hit him on a short route. Like, Andy Dalton's not a long-term solution, but he's a Band-Aid that might help reveal what the hell this team actually has on offense. Because the real crime here right now is how the Panthers mishandled Bryce Young from the moment he walked into the building. This is organizational malpractice. They've done everything wrong, and now they're scrambling to fix it by throwing in Dalton. And it's not even about being competitive anymore. It's more about finding out if anyone on this offense can play football. And let's be real, the Panthers aren't ready to compete. They're not. And they won't be for a while. And maybe, just maybe, with an average quarterback, we might actually see some signs of life. And if it all goes south again, at least they've got their first round pick in 2025, right? That's something. But for now, this is what we've got. We've got another season, another colossal fuck up by this Panthers team and this organization. And at this point, I might as well just tell you guys to get used to it, because that's where we are. That's where we are. It's, I mean, and now it's like, we got exactly. That's a huge problem, Stacy. Jerry, I feel sorry for us too. I would feel sorry for us too. No way the offense gets worse. It only can get better with a guy that can actually pass the ball and read defenses, at least somewhat. Andy Dalton hasn't really had a bad career. 1 to 4 win seasons the next 3 years. Hopefully not, Jerry, but I wouldn't be surprised at this point. Will any player want to come to Carolina with this dysfunction? That's another thing, Shockwave. When you have a dysfunctional organization, not really. No one's going to want to come and play here. Nobody's going to want to come and play for a dysfunctional organization. That's just, it ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. So, let's move on. Let's move on to the next topic. But here's the thing. There are problems beyond Bryce Young, ladies and gentlemen. All right. You're seeing it right here. You're seeing it right here. Clean pocket per grade, you can see it. 7th. Standard dropback grade, 5th. First and second down grade, 12th. No play action pass grade, 14th. At beyond sticks grade, 10th. Avoid negatives, 2nd. And sack rate, 12th. Okay. Then you look at that offensive line grading down there. Pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. Right? You look at that defensive line grading. Pretty damn ass. Pretty damn ass. So there are problems beyond Bryce Young, ladies and gentlemen. There are problems beyond Bryce Young. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Sorry about that. I just want to click in over here. There's 26 of you guys watching. I greatly appreciate that. Do me a favor. Make sure you smash that like button. All right. Make sure you smash that like button. All right. 26 people are watching. We only got 14 likes. Do me a favor. Smash the like button. We've got over, 26 people watching. So I would greatly appreciate that. All right. So here's the thing. The Carolina Panthers, we know, are an absolute shit show right now. And like I was saying, it goes beyond the problems of Bryce Young, right? But again, let's start with Bryce Young because he has been bad, and no one's denying that. With a guy who has had a 30.1 PFF grade through 2 weeks, right? I looked at PFF. He has a 30.1 grade within the 2 weeks. So that's not just bad. That's the bottom of the barrel, the worst in the league. Absolute trash. The kid's floundering out there, man. He's drowning. He's putting up positively graded plays. He's putting up positively graded plays on a pathetic 1% of his dropbacks. Okay. He's not throwing touchdowns. He's not creating big plays. He's barely doing anything at all. And the NFL had a what the fuck are you doing metric, right? And Young would own it. Okay, if NFL had a what the fuck are you doing metric, Young would own it, ladies and gentlemen. And his turnover-worthy plays aren't crazy. All right, high. All right, his turnover-worthy plays aren't crazy high. But that's because he's not taking any risk. Like, he's playing like he's scared to even breathe wrong. Like, so he gets benched, which makes the most sense. Let the poor kid sit, catch his breath, try to salvage what's left of his psyche, if there's any up there. He's clearly not ready, and this team isn't doing him any favors. And here's the real kicker. Again, I want y'all to understand this. Bryce isn't the main problem. Okay, when we look at this team and you're looking at all these, and I'm going to really dive into both of these images that you see, the Panthers are a dumpster fire on so many levels because it's almost doesn't matter who's under center. They could trout out prime Tom Brady. This team could still look garbage. Okay, and I'm going to dive into why that is. All right, the offensive line, sure. Again, you're looking at it there. Pass protection, 4 out of 5 starters have pass blocking grades above 75, which sounds decent on paper. But when it comes to run blocking, they are about as useful as a screen door in a submarine. Those are their pass blocking grades. Those are not their run blocking grades. Okay? Because when it comes to run blocking, like I said, They're about as useful as a screen door in a submarine, but not a single starter has cracked a 75 or above run blocking grade. Now, 4 of them are dragging ass under 65. And the result is only 25.4% of the Panthers' rushing yards are coming before contact. So making them one of the worst teams in the league at actually giving their running backs some space to, run the ball. So they're sitting at a negative 0.278 EPA per rush. Okay. If you don't know what EPA is, look it up. All right. It's the 4th worst in the entire damn NFL. So if you thought that this offense was a disaster, wait till you hear about this defense, because the defensive line is a flatter than a pancake. You can look at the grades right there. The rest of these clowns, I mean, they've got one guy right now, which is A'Shawn Robinson. Now, Peavy looks pretty good, but A'Shawn Robinson's got a 60.6 grade over 60. But really, that's about it. The rest of these clowns, 6 defensive linemen have played 40 or more snaps. So listen to this statistic. 40 or more snaps, and all of them are graded below a 60, okay, from a PFF standpoint. They couldn't stop a runny nose, okay, and let alone an NFL offense. So the Panthers are just giving up positive EPA on a 46.5% of their defensive snaps, which is a fancy way of saying they're getting steamrolled half the time. They're getting steamrolled half the time. So you switch from Bryce Young to Andy Dalton. Sure, that gives that gives the offense a little boost. But let's be real, ladies and gentlemen, Andy Dalton's not here to save the day. At best, he's going to slap a Band-Aid on this team that's bleeding from a dozen different wounds, okay? And with this roster, it won't be shocking if they finish 2024 with one of the worst records in the league still. And honestly, no quarterback, no scheme, no miracles going to fix what's broken in Carolina. Like, this team is rotting from the trenches and up. And they until they address their pathetic offensive line and defensive lines. Now, the offensive, when I mean, I shouldn't say offensive line, defensive line, but their offensive issues. Okay. All right. We're just going to continue circling this drain. The offensive line, I think, is solidified. The defensive line, no, but some other offensive issues, we're just circling down the drain. So, yeah, benching Bryce Young, again, cool, but I think it's like rearranging a deck of chairs on the Titanic. Like, good luck to the Panthers this week, but because we're going to need it, right? And we're going to dive more into that game here shortly. Appreciate everyone in here. We got 30 people watching. Let's see how many likes we got. We only got 20 likes. Guys, do me a favor. With 33 of you, we only need 13 more likes to get that 33 of you watching. All right. And shout out to all you guys that watched the NFC South Roundtable this week, by the way, even though I wasn't there. I appreciate everyone joining in. I appreciate everyone going in, checking it out. Really do appreciate it. But do me a favor, smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I appreciate that. All right. Reading some of these comments. I was just checking you guys out real quick, looking at some of these comments. Unbothered, what's up? Forest City Kitty, what's up? Appreciate y'all, man. I see y'all in here. I see all y'all in here. Now, did y'all see this craziness? Bryce Young, a blockbuster 3-way trade. Chase Daniel came up with this, a proposed 3-way trade. I mean, I don't know how people come up with this. I don't know if like Chase Daniel was trying to get some clickbait off of this one. I'm sure he did. Somebody said yesterday, bring your own chair. Bill Mack, what's up, man? Appreciate you joining. I don't know who came up with this. I think it's hilarious, honestly. Arnott came up with this. I think it's hilarious how Chase Daniel came up with this. It's like almost clickbaitish a little bit, in my opinion, with this whole thing. And Stacy, that's true too. I mean, I think maybe I might be a little harsh on them, but when it comes to the run game, it has not been very, very, it's not been very pretty, man. I mean, like if we think about it, like we are allowing a lot of rushing yards. So we're allowing, like I said, we're a leaky faucet right now in that run game, and our defensive line is not stepping up. Bryce is owed $5 million a year. NFL agents are saying no one is trading for Bryce for that amount. Yeah, Jerry, I don't expect it either. Like I said, I kind of feel like this when this came out of Chase Daniel's mouth, this was a little bit clickbaitish. That's just me, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, I don't see this ever becoming anything like because a blockbuster trade of this magnitude makes you wonder if someone's drunk at the wheel. Honestly, like no offense to Chase Daniel, as a former, as a former NFL quarterback, obviously he tosses straight out idea that involves us with the Panther or with the Rams and the Dolphins, and it's so out there. It might actually make sense though, because if you squint hard enough and ignore how much of a mess that the whole thing is, right? But let's break it down. Okay. Like we already know this kid's benched. So, and we've already fumbled this kid around like a toddler, right? Just look with basically we fumbled Bryce Young. This is the way I like to also think about it because of my daughter. And I hate to say this but the Panthers are fumbling around like a toddler with a loaded diaper, trying to figure out what the hell to do next, right? Sometimes that's me. When I see my daughter with a full diaper, I'm like, I don't know if I want to deal with that. You know what I mean? But this kid's supposed to be the franchise savior. We all know that. And now they're talking about trading him. I mean, Jesus, it feels like this team, though, when you see these types of things, has no idea how to develop a quarterback, which so far they don't. And that's why we're in this, because it's this batshit proposal. Bryce Young to the Rams, Matthew Stafford to the Dolphins, Panthers getting a second rounder from Miami, a third rounder from LA. I mean, Miami, here's the thing. Let's say this was a real ordeal thing. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Let's say this is a real ordeal. Okay. The Miami Dolphins are thrown into the mix because of the whole Tua situation, just because they put him on IR with his concussion history. Okay. All right. So the question here that's hanging in the air is, should he even keep playing? Right? Should Tua Tagovailoa should continue playing? So obviously Daniels is suggesting that the Dolphins bring in Matthew Stafford. Okay. So that gives them Matthew Stafford when healthy, can sling it. The Dolphins offense would be, I think the Dolphins offense would be fun as hell if Matthew Stafford was at the helm. But let's be real. Stafford's also has his own injury problems. He's a bit of a pick of your poison situation here. But on paper, it makes sense for Miami if they're desperate enough to roll the dice. Now, they did go out and get Tyler Huntley, but he's not even going to be the starter this week, from my understanding. It's going to be Skylar Thompson. So now you look at the Rams side of things. Okay, you look at the Rams side of things. All right. And the Rams aren't looking too good. They went all in for that Super Bowl and got it, right? And now the house is on fire, and it's kind of broken. And Aaron Donald's retired. The defense is in shambles. They did go out and get guys like Braden Fisk and the other guy out of FSU, the pass rusher. What was the pass rusher out of FSU that they drafted? Because that was kind of part of the trade with us that got him both of those picks, basically. But we kind of swindled them in getting an extra pick the next year. getting our second round pick back. But I can't remember the guy out of FSU, the pass rusher they got. I see his face. I just can't think of his name. So I'm just trying to remember what his name is. Can someone tell me the pass rusher out of FSU that came out of the draft last year, first round pick? Jared Verse. Thank you. Jared Verse. So they brought those guys in, but the defense is still in shambles without Aaron Donald. So the injuries have hit them like a freight train. And so the idea of shipping Stafford off for some picks, hitting the reset button doesn't sound half bad for them. Bringing in Bryce Young could give them a fresh start at quarterback without the expectation of winning right away, which they desperately need. But again, I don't know if Sean McVay could fix this kid. Then they've got the Panthers. Then we have our team, right? The Panthers. Carolina's part in this deal. To me, this sounds too good to be true because a second round and a third round pick for Bryce Young after they already gave up on him after a season and change, like, I mean, God, like you'd have to be smoking something strong to think that this is something that would happen. All right. Like Bryce Young's trade value right now is trying to sell a used car that's been in 5 accidents and you're not getting top dollar, right? Like a third rounder, maybe second rounder, that's laughable because that they should count their blessings if they get a bag of peanuts and a fourth rounder for him at this point. Like, hey, the crazier trades that happen in the NFL, I mean, the Panthers are a total disaster. So maybe they're trying to pull off this kind of Hail Mary. I doubt it. I doubt they're doing that. First year GM is Dan Morgan's probably already sweating bullets, trying to figure out how to clean up his mess without looking like an idiot. The way things are going, though, they're probably going to screw this up too. To be blunt, that trade scenario reeks of desperation on all sides. Miami's scrambling to figure out life without Tua. The Rams are our post Super Bowl hangover mode, basically, and we're just lost. Okay, so we might as well be ready to give up on Bryce. I think people are already ready to give up on Bryce. The idea that he's worth a couple of decent draft picks at this point is pure fantasy. And if we're lucky, they'll find someone foolish enough to take this kind of trade or take a chance on him, for example. I mean, this trade package, I wouldn't hold my breath. I don't think this has happened. This is just media getting clickbait at this point, in my opinion. This kid's not on trade watch. I don't think Bryce Young's getting traded. It just doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense to me. But thought it was an interesting topic, and I thought you guys would enjoy it. Wow, appreciate everyone in here. Make sure you do me a favor, smash the like button. I would greatly appreciate it. I don't know. I don't know if Tua's going to play. I haven't heard anything. It definitely would be a steal. I think it's just a fantasy trade, final boss. Panthers fumble Bryce Clay. Wow. I think it's a mutual fumble, actually, Boston. 336 Boston. I think it's a mutual disaster. I think Bryce fumbled us. I think Bryce Young ruined the Carolina Panthers, and the Carolina Panthers ruined Bryce Young. I think it's a mutual situation, actually. I think it's a mutual situation. So, 2 is on IR, yeah. All right, let's get right into the next one. Oh, no, that went way too far. There we go. Going into my next point here. Sorry about that. Let's talk about the red. Let's talk about the Red Rocket. Let's talk about the old Red Rocket, baby. Will Coker play soon? Shockwave? I don't know. I don't know if they'll bring Coker up, man. I don't know if they'll bring Coker up or not. You know what I mean? Tua should retire. Brain injuries are real. I mean, this is his fourth concussion, right? Second time I've seen him do the Frankenstein thing. It's possible depending on what the doctors tell him. Yeah. What do you think about Mike Flores? I think Mike Flores was right. Unfortunately, Billy Mack, I think Mike Flores was right. I hate to be that guy, but I think Mike Flores was right. I think Mike Flores is right about that, not just for Tua. I think he's right about that for a lot of people in the NFL. I think the NFL has gotten a little soft. I do. I mean, I hate to be that guy, but I think the NFL has gotten a little soft. It is what it is. But but coaches like Flores is what you're seeing nowadays, hearing from nowadays. I like coaches like Flores, Hurst, and Campbell. Like those guys are in your face, tough to the nails. I like that. All right, let's talk about the Red Rocket real quick. I mean, the comments about the Panthers being boycotted by all incoming quarterbacks in the draft. There's nothing that they can do, man. We can draft whoever we want. Money talks too, man. Money talks. All right, let's talk about it here real quick. I gotta find my boy here. All right. So obviously this has been a shit show, right? We had these 2 blowout losses. We benched Bryce Young. It's like we couldn't fight ourselves out of a wet paper bag. We bench him, and we bring in a 14-year veteran in Andy Dalton to come in, the Red Rifle. He's back this Sunday, obviously preparing to face off with Las Vegas Raiders. So basically, I want to talk about what we can expect from Andy Dalton under center. What kind of hell are the Raiders going to give us this week? All right, we're going to break it all down. I'm not going to sugarcoat any of this. So let's take a hard look at Andy Dalton. Okay, what does he bring to the table? Okay, this man has been around forever. He's a 3-time Pro Bowler, which is something. But let's not get it too carried away. His last relevant season was years ago. Okay. And last season, in his lone start for the Panthers against the Seahawks, he was serviceable, but nothing to write home about. He's completed 34 58 passing yards, and I'm looking at it right now. He had 364 58 passes, 361 yards, 2 touchdowns, but a lot of those came and when the game was already over. So, but here's the thing. Dalton can still make things happen. He's not Bryce Young. He doesn't scramble like him, but he can sure as hell can handle pressure better, right? If you need proof, you can go watch his all 22 film of last year's week 3 matchup against Seattle. Okay. He made a couple eye-popping throws under pressure. I rewatched it actually yesterday when I had some time. I sat down and watched it and kind of took some notes from it. And when you look at the game film, right, he can make some throws under pressure. Okay, that Young just can't and hasn't shown to be able to do. And that was just in one play alone that I saw. Like when Dalton's pocket collapsed, and despite getting absolutely leveled by a Seahawks defender, he sidearmed a dart. There was this one play I watched. He sidearmed a dart to Thielen for a 23-yard gain, right? And that's the type of thing that can elevate this struggling Panthers offense composure under fire, and a veteran who can understand on how to make something out of nothing, right? That's what you're getting with him, right? One of the most impressive throws in that game film that I saw came in that second quarter when Dalton hit Thielen again after scrambling, using his eyes to manipulate the defense. And then That was just the savvy at its finest. And then there was a dime to DJ Chark in tight coverage that I saw where Dalton held the single high. It was a single high safety. And when his eyes before dropping a perfect back shoulder pass, right? And then again, he's not perfect, but and he missed some throws and his placements was inconsistent, but compared to what we've seen from our regressed Bryce Young this season, Dalton might as well be Tom Brady because Dalton gives this team a chance. And honestly, at this point, that's all we have. That's all we need. That's all we've had is a chance. But again, another thing about this Raiders game is that Dalton's history against the Raiders is something that we need to discuss. And let's go ahead and get into that. All right, let's get into we'll talk about the Raiders here in a minute. I'll come back to that in a minute. James Island Panther, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you with that $1.99 donation. I don't care about a win, just competent ball play. Shout out to you, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate you doing that, giving me, donating to the channel. I greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate that, man. I'm going to get to some comments before we continue to dive into this. I think it's just for the team to access what receivers can do and state of the offense as the best choice of the two quarterbacks. For sure. Whoever the Panthers draft will show up because you're going to get a $40 million over 4 years. I don't disagree with you there, AJ. It was nice chatting with you, by the way, AJ, on Twitter. Talking to you back and forth on there. That was cool. Icky should look better with Andy. Andy knows to step up and not bail. I agree with that, Underbothered. I agree with that. I can see that too. I think I actually think I've seen progress from Icky this year compared to last year. All right. His grades might be low, but I think I've seen a lot more progress from him in the passing game. I don't see them drafting another quarterback. I think they'll find a vet in free agent to plug and rebuild the D in the draft. Final boss, that's the way I'm thinking. I think you bring in a bridge guy or you rock with Andy Dalton another year, and then you go into this draft and free agency because we're gonna have a lot of cap space, a lot more than what people think. We'll probably have top 10 at least, maybe, and if it's less than what I'm expecting, maybe top 15, but I think it's going to be higher than what a lot of people think. I'm pretty sure it's still going to be top 10 cap space. So you're going to be able to go into free agency, make some moves on that defense, draft. I think you bring a bridge guy in, and then you go after Archie Manning in the next draft, or Nico out of Tennessee. Like, you want to go after one of the two. Went through all his reads, great feet, stepping in the pocket, scrambled to where it was. Clearly delivered a strike. Everything Bryce has been doing. Exactly. That's the thing. I think Dalton's got a better zip on his ball. I expect full 2026 to be the quarterback year, maybe take one this year, but I agree with you. Yeah. I just don't see us going a quarterback this year. In this draft. I think you rebuild that defense. Another thing that we need to look into next year is getting a true nose tackle, because with this 3-4 defense right now, this 3-4 defense, even with Derek Brown, I still think we would struggle to stuff in the run, because without a true nose tackle, the 3-4 defense is nothing. As bad as the Panthers have been and inconsistent, it's like taking baby steps. I know as a fan base that it's difficult, but we're having to reboot again. Yep. And I here's the thing. One thing I do want them to do is I want to happen is I want Dave Canales to get the quarterback he wants, because I think with Dave Canales in this offense, I think if Dave Canales gets the guy that he wants or drafts or whoever he gets, I think it's going to benefit this team overall for the next future because Dave Canales gets to pick his guy and go and then, you know, he gets to work with him, right? Who fits this scheme, who fits this offense. Like, that's what I want for Dave Canales. Like, I wanted them to continue to give this guy a chance and let him do his thing. But I think this next year we go with a bridge guy like Dalton or somebody, even like a Ryan Tannehill, or if we go after Gardner Minshew, I don't know, just somebody like that. Okay. And bring in and bridge it up this year, rebuild that defense as much as we can this next coming off season, then go into the quarterback draft of the 2026. Man, Archie Manning would be a miracle. It would. I wish we would go back to the 4-3. Not a great quarterback class, plus it's a great pressure. Yeah, exactly, James Allen. Exactly. Yeah, this is true. He ain't going to want his son to play for Carolina on teams the deems worthy of his son. And that could be a case. Bill Mack, you make a good point there. I'm good with Plummer being QB1 and draft his backup. Roadmaster, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I just don't know if that's even if Plummer's a bridge guy. I couldn't even sit here and tell you with a straight face that I think Jack Plummer is a bridge guy. Like, I just don't know. Appreciate everyone joining the live stream in the chat. I see y'all. Do me a favor, smash the like button. There's over 60 people watching, so I greatly appreciate it. Sup, Clay? Sup, everyone? Personally, I love this move. Dalton is a good bridge QB. He's our Kirk Cousins. Allows us to be hopeful, competitive, while drafting our future franchise guy. Yeah, Jeff, I think this year we're going to take a break on drafting our franchise guy. I think we stick it out maybe another year with Dalton, or we grab another bridge quarterback, and then we go out and in 2026 and we go get Nico out of Tennessee, or we look at Archie Manning or whoever else is there in the 2026. But I want Dave Canales to get his guy. That's what I want. Whether it's if they decide to go into this next coming draft and Dave Canales feels like that's his guy, cool. If it's the next draft and they decide to just rebuild this defense and they go after and Canales goes after his guy in 2026, cool. But I just want Canales to get his guy. I want to rebuild this defense, though, at the same time. Yeah. I mean, I see that, Bill Mack, but I still would see Canales get another guy. I could not see them feeling confident with Jack Plummer going into next season. After Eli did what he do, the Chargers, I don't trust Manning's. He would refuse to play here. Yeah, I get it. Imagine if the Manning family gets together, a funding group, and they become the Panthers owners and take Arch. AJ Brooks, I would absolutely love that. I would absolutely love that. That would be a fantasy something to happen, but I would absolutely I would praise the heavens. I would praise the heavens. Lenore Sellers or Archie Manning. I mean, Jeff R. Lenore Sellers if he can continue to work on his arm, which he's got a cannon. He's got all the tools to be Cam Newton the next Cam Newton, which that's what he gets compared to a lot of the time. I mean, I wouldn't be mad at it, but I just need to see more from him right now as a game, and that's me as a Gamecock fan. But right now, if I'm picking Arch Manning or Lenore Sellers, I'd take Arch Manning. Yes, Deion Walker. Yes, absolutely. Absolute stud. Would love to have him in that nose tackle position. I wouldn't mind Travis Hunter either, Bill Mack. Wouldn't be mad at it. Wouldn't be mad at it. So that would be like extra Christmas for sure. My niece's upgrade over Bryce Young. We can't go wrong. Laugh my ass off. Yeah. Jerry Richardson would have never let this franchise become what it was under Tepper. No, he wouldn't. Payne does owe us one for Super Bowl 50, so maybe we can talk to Final Boss. Yeah, let's. He does owe us one. Maybe we should like send some fan mail to Peyton and be like, "Hey, man, can you and your family go in on buying the Carolina Panthers so that Arch can come play for us? Should we get like a petition together or something like that, chat? Should we do that?" When Sellers took his goggles off and gave me flashbacks of greatness. AJ, facts, man. That's funny. That's funny, chat. Y'all are too good today. All right, let's get into it. Because here's something that to hang your hat on about Andy Dalton. All right. Dalton owns the Raiders, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know. All right. Dalton owns the Raiders. Okay. But 3-0 against them in his career. All right. And those 3 starts, he's thrown for 708 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Like, he hasn't been sacked once since Max Crosby joined the Raiders either. So there's that. When Dalton last faced the Raiders in 2022, he shredded them for over 214 yards, 2 touchdowns. Crosby was all up in his grill for 29 snaps. Dalton kept it cool, lit him up anyways. So at least we know this guy can handle the Raiders' pass rush that they throw at him. Now, when I'm talking about the offensive line, all right, the good news so far is here's where we've got to give credit where credit's due. The Panthers' offensive line has actually been solid. This offense has actually been very solid. Okay, they've gave up 2 pressures last week against the Chargers, who have Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack. Okay, mind you, left tackle Ike Ekwonu played one of the best games he's had. The interior line was led by Austin Corbett. He's been a wall. I mean, shout out to Austin Corbett. We were all very unsure about him. The offensive line's performance has also opened things up for running back Chuba Hubbard, who averaged over 6 yards per carry last week. Honestly, the Panthers have to commit to the run game if they want to survive this season. Give the Hubbard the ball 20 times a game, and you might have a shot at winning some games, right? Defensively, let's talk about the defense. All right, so since we're getting into this, let's get into that preview. Let's get into that preview real quick. Shaq Thompson's defense, the defense with Shaq Thompson's. I feel like Shaq Thompson has been back for a vengeance. He's like 2nd in the NFL, or 3rd in the NFL for tackles right now. Defensively, he's been the most. I feel like Shaq Thompson has been playing like a man who's possessed right now. And that's the thing. He's fresh off a 14 tackle game where he was just everywhere and blowing up runs, flying around the field. And I think a lot of people are sleeping on Shaq. Now, again, the coverage in the linebacker room hasn't been very great. I think Trevin Wallace needs to take over to Josie Jewell right now. I think Trevin Wallace gives us the better chance in coverage, but I still think he can do what Josie Jewell can do in the run game as well. So I think Trevor Wallace needs a chance. I just feel like Josie Jewell is not giving us enough spark. Just being all around beast after fracturing his fibula last season, Thompson is back to his old self. It seems like, and that went then some, because it'll be key if the Panthers want to slow the Raiders' offense. Now, let's talk about that Raiders real quick. Okay, let's talk about the Raiders real quick. What are the Raiders bringing to the table? Okay, right? We're talking about the Raiders right now, who are coming off a huge upset, I would say. Would y'all say the least that the Raiders over the Ravens was a huge upset? I would say so. This is a 1-1 team, and guess what? They've got some firepower of their own. Now they've got Mr. Stash himself. You got Gardner Minshew, the Stash. You got 2 absolute studs in Devontae Adams and you got Brock Bowers. Now Minshew, he's obviously he's better known for his mustache, let's be honest, than his play. The guy can still sling it, though. I will give him credit where credit's due. He's thrown for over 533 yards in 2 games with 2 touchdowns, but 2 picks. Most of his yards have gone to Adams and Bowers. So that's 325 of them, okay, out of that 533 yards he has right now, to be exact. So these are 2 basically their entire offense right now. Those guys have been unstoppable. Devontae Adams is still one of the best receivers in the game, in my opinion. Bowers, the rookie, is a nightmare matchup at the tight end position. Fast, big, impossible to cover. But there is a guy that played at University of Kentucky that's on our team, linebacker Trevin Wallace, that knows probably Brock Bowers pretty well because Bowers playing at Georgia. I think this is where Trevin Wallace needs to come in and play. The Panthers defense is going to have to double one of them. It's probably going to be Devontae. And even I think that you got to stop the other. So it's kind of tough. I think you got to put Trevin Wallace out there over Josie Jewell. I just don't see Josie Jewell matching up well with a Brock Bowers. I think he will eat up Josie. I don't like what I'm seeing from Josie right now, ladies and gentlemen. I think Trevin Wallace is better back there. I think Trevin Wallace is ready. The kid is very, very good. And I've seen enough from him this offseason too. You'll sign right now for that petition, I bet. Have Peyton buy the team from Tepper. I'd love that. What are your thoughts on everyone in the media feeling sorry for Bryce, making excuses? It's annoying in my opinion. Yeah, it is annoying. This is a man's league. This is not a little boy's league. This is not a league where, where it's just not sunshine and rainbows in the NFL. This is the professional NFL world that we live in. Grow up. Grow a pair of balls. All right? They say Arch does his own thing without the influence of his family. And I've heard that too, Marcos, but who knows what happens, man. I wouldn't be surprised if we did end up trying to get Arch Manning and they were just like, nah. So, yeah, Robert Hunt's been a stud. Yep, I was skeptic about Corbett too. Yep. Yeah, number 7 just wasn't him. Exactly. Yeah, I'm bothered. I think Trevin Wallace is ready. I think Trevin Wallace is ready. Yeah. Yes, that's a good comparison, Marcos. That's a good comparison. All right, that's a good comparison. But let's continue talking about this Raiders team real quick. All right, what can we expect from them? Again, I think Max Crosby is a one-man wrecking crew. Now they got Christian Wilkins, but it doesn't seem like Christian Wilkins is. I don't know what he's done. Right. The defense has been leaky as hell though lately because they have been giving up over 300 rushing yards in 2 games. So this is why I'm saying we need to run the ball 25 to 30 times between however you want to switch out the running back room with Miles Sanders and Chuba Hubbard. But I'd like to see a 70-30 split between the two. But the bright spot on their defense, again, is still Max Crosby, right? Like this guy's an elite pass rusher, in my opinion, probably top 5. He's just an absolute game wrecker, plain and simple. Through 10 games, this is just 2 games alone. Max Crosby's got 11 tackles, 3 sacks, 2 quarterback hurries, 5 tackles for a loss, and he's definitely going to be coming for Dalton, guaranteed. The rest of this Raiders defense has just been trash. They've been shredded on the ground. If the Panthers are smart, which given in the last 2 weeks, that is a big if, but they'll run Hubbard right at them all game long, and I hope they do. Again, the secret weapon for the Raiders, though, is Daniel Carlson, because the Daniel Carlson, the guy who has a leg like a freaking cannon, has already hit two 50-plus yard field goals this season. So if the Raiders offense stalls out, Carlson can still put points up on the board and from almost anywhere. And that's a luxury for most teams that would kill for. So what's going to happen on Sunday? This game is going to be a grind, ladies and gentlemen. This game is going to be an absolute grind. Dalton's better than Bryce Young right now. He gives us a fighting chance against a Raiders team that's far from perfect. The O-line needs to keep up its solid play. They need to feed Hubbard that damn ball over and over again. On defense, it's stopping Minshew, Adams, and Bowers, right? That connection, it is easier said than done. But if Thompson keeps playing like he's had, and there's a shot at slowing them down. I think that also forcing the ball in Gardner Minshew's hands is also going to slow their offense down, because I do think Zamir White does give them a good chance of running the ball, which we have not been very good at. We have been like a leaky faucet in that run game. So I think forcing Zamir White out of the game, basically stopping the run, forcing Minshew to throw the ball. But if you can stop that connection of Adam and Bowers between Minshew and those two, and I know that's easier said than done, but if you can slow them down, you can win this game. This one could go either way, at least with Dalton at the helm. I think the Panthers might finally look like a real football team again, maybe. I mean, here's hoping to win for a win, but God knows we need it. But if I'm picking it right now, guys, like, here's the thing. Andy Dalton is not going to save us. Okay. I think Vegas is just a better chemistry team right now than we are. And we're going to their home territory. And it's hard for me to pick the Carolina Panthers to win this game. It's hard for me to pick Carolina to win this game. I think the Raiders win. As a Carolina Panthers fan, I'm telling you right now, I think the Raiders win 24-20. It's hard for me, even though Dalton has a good record against the Raiders. How much of a connection does he have? How is the chemistry with this team right now? Can he build this team back up? Because right now, everybody's heads are in the ground. All right. So I think the Raiders get the win. That's my preview and prediction for you guys until proven otherwise. So sound off in the comments. Let me know your score predictions, but I'm taking the Raiders in this one. I'm still taking the Raiders. I'm still taking the Raiders. Unbothered says, hell, 20 points is a win. Hey, if we get 20 points, it is a win, Unbothered. It is a win. It's a step in the right direction. I'm going to go 24-20 Raiders, ladies and gentlemen. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Let me know what y'all's final score is. We got Roadmaster 24-20. Again, and that's all I want, Billy Mack. I just want them to be competitive again. All right? I just want them to be competitive again. I say we win 24-27, turns into a shootout. Final boss coming out with a big score. Big score. Go to betus.com and go at the link is in my link tree, ladies and gentlemen. You can bet the over with that one. Let's see what else we got. We got Billy Mack 24-17, Las Vegas. Okay. We got Unbothered Panthers 17-13. So we've got a majority of you so far have said Panthers pull it out. Interesting. So the majority of you guys think that the Panthers are going to win this game. I'm very surprised by that. Very surprised by that. Guys, do me a favor. Make sure you smash that like button. We got over 63 people in here. Do me a favor. There's no reason why we shouldn't have more than 63 likes on the YouTube channel. There are 63 of you watching. So 65 of you watching now. Do me a favor, if you're on the YouTube channel, make sure you smash that like button, okay? It helps my channel get out to other people that maybe don't know about me, all right? So I would greatly appreciate that. It's just one click away, and it definitely helps out the channel. So I greatly appreciate that. I am bothered only because of not being able to stop the run. The offense, I'm more confident about that than previous weeks. Fair enough. Nick Gaskins goes 21-14 Panthers. All right. All right. All right. All right. If Bryce was playing, I would take the Raiders, but I just think the new quarterback will give us a spark we need on offense. And you could be right. And you could be right. All right. And you could be right. There's no doubt about it. All right. So we're going to come in here. I got my NFL week 3 picks for you guys. Got my NFL week 3 picks. Give me 1 second here. Hold on. Trying to fix myself. Trying to move me so I'm not in the way. All right, perfect. All right, so NFL week 3 picks. We're going to break each and every game down here, ladies and gentlemen. So let's start off with, okay, you know me, I do this every Thursday, every Wednesday, every Thursday before the games come out. We're going to start off with tonight's game, all right? So the Patriots, the Patriots and the New York Jets tonight. The Patriots have owned the Jets in post-Brady era, going in 7-1. The Jets, I think, got to win the last time, but that was a fluke, and we'll all know it. But Aaron Rodgers is running the show for the Jets. Everyone is acting like he's a savior. Newsflash: Rodgers are not. The Jets are still the Jets. The Patriots are still the tougher, grittier team, stronger pass attack, solid on defense, tough. But hey, a lot of people have been talking to me saying that thinks that Rodgers might finally get his shit together and lead this Jets to a 7-point win. I just don't see that. I think the Jets win, but I think that it's going to be more like a 21-17 type of game. All right. So sound off in the comments as we go through each and every game. Yeah, they need Bill Mack. They definitely need Brees to run the ball. Brees definitely needs to run the ball. JC, I'm bothered. I missed that comment. I like that. JC's first big dog test against Adams. I hope we get that matchup. I hope so too. And I think it would be a great matchup to see. I'd love to see if JC Horns got it. So Robert Lopez comes in. Raiders defense alone will give us a win. I think Dalton can be dangerous, but he'll put it out at home. 24-30 Raiders. Wow. All right, Robert. Thank you for the comment, man. Appreciate you joining. Appreciate that. All right, let's go into the next game. We're going to talk about the Giants and the Cleveland Browns. All right. The Giants pulled off the impossible last week. The Giants pulled off the impossible last week, scored 3 offensive touchdowns, but gave up 9 and still lost. How? You want to know how they lost that game? 7 damn field goals. That's how. Did y'all know that? Like, losing their kicker didn't help, but still, that's some next level failure shit. Like, they've got Greg Joseph from the Lions practice squad now, but that doesn't change the fact that they still are hot garbage. On the flip side, Cleveland isn't exactly lighting it up either, but they're at least not as bad as the Commanders. I'm going to take the Browns, win this ugly mess. I think it's going to be the Browns 21-14. Next, we go into, let's get right into the Denver Broncos at Tampa Bay. Well, as of right now, ladies and gentlemen, this Baker Mayfield is quietly killing it with 5 touchdowns so far this season, right? So you got the rookie quarterback, Bo Nix, who's leading the league. And what the hell was that? Interceptions. The Broncos defense is good, but their offense is a disaster and it's sloppy as hell. Tampa Bay's offense, tough, is clicking. Our entire panel, or A lot of people, I've seen a lot of panels lately agree that the Bucs are about to steamroll the Broncos. So with that being said, and since these other panels I've seen, it's going to be a bloodbath. I think the Buccaneers win this game 22-12. Baker Mayfield looks like the best quarterback in the NFC South right now. It's not even close. So give me the Bucs. Give me the Bucs. Los Angeles Chargers at the Pittsburgh Steelers, two teams that are 2-0. The game is going to be a throwback to the 1960s, I think, a smash mouth football with a lot of running, a little bit of scoring, and it's going to be a little score. All right. Both teams can barely pass. They run like hell. The Chargers have the edge here because, well, Justin Herbert is at least capable of throwing the damn ball. The Steelers, not so much. Justin Fields has looked good, but I think Justin Herbert's just a little bit better. And LA squeezes this one out like in a very close one. 17-16. All right. Next matchup, we got the Philadelphia Eagles at the New Orleans Saints. And as you can see, I got that check mark on the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles lost that damn game because of themselves. Nobody else. And Nick Sirianni. Like, the Eagles managed to choke last week against the Falcons when they had a 97.6% chance of winning. And yeah, that happened. Saquon Barkley dropped that ball. That's on Saquon Barkley, man. You got to make that catch and you get the first down. Like, despite this epic collapse, I'm still rolling with Philly to get their act together. I think the Saints are putting up points right now. It feels like that pace is got to be unstable at some point. If New Orleans wins 3 in a row, then I'm picking New Orleans in every game the rest of the season because Philly, I think, wins in an upset. Like, honestly, if we were talking about this at the beginning of the season and the Saints won this game, that would be an upset by the Saints. But right now, the way it looks for Philly, I would say this is an upset for them. So, give me the Eagles in this one, 23-21 over the Saints. I think they get the dub. Houston Texans at the Minnesota Vikings. Sam Darnold is still doing something shocking in Minnesota. Had him here too. Talk about another quarterback we had who's actually playing decent football, right? Let's not get carried away. The Vikings may be riding high after a huge upset against the 49ers, but this Texans defense is about to bring them back to earth. Darnold throws a couple of picks. I think Houston wins this one in a close matchup, 27-21. Green Bay at Tennessee. Malik Willis is probably pretending he doesn't care about playing against the team that dumped him. But we know he does care, right? And he's going to come out firing. The Packers are going to ride that wave. And Tennessee, on the other hand, you got Will Levis, who keeps just screwing things up. I think the Titans season's already going down in a downward spiral in the toilet like we are. But I think the Packers in a win in a low-scoring shit show. I think it's going to be Packers like 18-16. All right. Next game, we got the Chicago Bears at the Indianapolis Colts. Now, Caleb Williams looks like a deer in the headlights back there for the Bears, but the Colts are trash, and especially on defense. They can't stop the run. They're missing their best defensive player. This is the perfect opportunity for Bears to pound the rock and get a win. I think the Bears finally get another win here, 23-20. Miami at Seattle. Tua's out. Skylar Thompson's in. Dolphins are in a deep shit right now, ladies and gentlemen. Thompson's been awful. There's no reason to believe he'll suddenly just somehow figure things out against the Seattle team that's 2-0. It's only a matter of time before Tyler Huntley takes over in Miami. But in the meantime, the Seahawks are going to crush them. I think the Seahawks get the dub here, 26-14. I am going to be watching the Miami a little bit more because of Tyler Huntley, because Tyler Huntley did have a Pro Bowl season. I'm interested to see how Tyler Huntley can come out of this. I'm interested to see how Tyler Huntley will look. Can he come back and have like a Pro Bowl season that he had with the Ravens? I'd love to see that. Let's talk about the San Francisco, Los Angeles Rams. Both of these teams are beat to hell right now. It's going to be a war of attrition, even though the 49ers are missing some key players. They still have enough firepower, I think, to take on the Rams, but it's not going to be easy. I expect a tight, low-scoring battle here. Give me the 49ers 26-21. All right. All right, let's get into the next one. We got the Detroit Lions at the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals blew out the Rams last week. Now they're facing a Lions team that's been hit or miss. And let's be real, the Lions are better. They've shown that they're more physical. They're due for a breakout game. I think this is going to be a shootout, but give me the Detroit to pull off this victory against those Arizona Cardinals. I think it's going to be something like 35-31, that type of game. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Next up, we got the Baltimore Ravens at the Dallas Cowboys. Now, both of these teams are coming off embarrassing loss. Unfortunately, sorry, honey. The Cowboys are still in better shape than the Ravens. I think Baltimore's defense has been falling apart. And their offense is still reliant on Lamar Jackson pulling off miracles out the air. But I think the Cowboys bounce back at home. Give me the Cowboys at home. Yeah, I think it's going to be 31-28, something like that. I think it'll be close because the Ravens are still a good football team, but I think Dallas at home gets the dub. All right. Kansas City Chiefs at the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons are riding high at that last minute win over the Eagles. And they're about to come to a crashing down against the Chiefs. Kirk Cousins has been shaky at best. I don't think he's fully healthy from that Achilles injury. You can't tell me he is. He's about to get exposed against the Kansas City Chiefs team, I think. That's still one of the best in the league. Chiefs win. Falcons keep it close. But Chiefs 28-24. All right. 28-24. Jaguars at the Buffalo Bills. Now, the Jaguars, they're just absolute mess. Plain and simple. They can't score. They can't convert on third downs. Trevor Lawrence looks lost. He doesn't look good. Meanwhile, the Bills are sitting pretty at the top of the AFC East and are going to make short work of this pathetic Jaguars team. So I don't think it's going to be close. I think the Bills win this game 30-21. So give me the Bills. And then last but not least, we've got the Monday Night Football game. It is the Washington Commanders at the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, the Bengals are used to starting slow, okay? But this year just feels different. Like, Joe Burrow doesn't look the same. You got the Jamar Chase issues. T. Higgins is out. You don't have a run game anymore when you lost Joe Mixon. Washington's coming off a big win. They're about to run into a Bengals team that is desperate and angry. I think Joe Burrow is about to light it up this time. He's going to have a bounce-back game here, even though, like I mentioned earlier, he hasn't been himself. But Cincinnati finally gets their first win over Washington Commanders. Give me the Bengals 28, Commanders 17. So that is your Week 3 preview and breakdown and your Carolina Panthers preview and breakdown as well. So appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Let's see here. Appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Do me a favor again. Make sure you smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Appreciate everyone being in here on this Thursday. Like I said, I've been traveling. I'm in Virginia Beach for work. So I was glad to be able to bring you this stream at least while I was here. So I appreciate everyone that joined in. Make sure, again, do me a favor. Like, subscribe. Follow me on all my social media. Linktree is down below. Make sure you go check out BetUS, sponsorship of the Ropp Star Report. Feel free to join the Discord for free, where you can connect with me and the rest of the Ropp Star gang. So I appreciate that. So appreciate everyone in here. Do me a favor, smash the like, smash the subscribe. I would greatly appreciate that wherever you're watching. Also, don't forget to check out the NFC South Roundtable. If you missed the episode this week, go check it out. There's also a pre-recorded video coming out here soon. So that will be uploaded here soon. So make sure y'all go check that out. Doug filled in for me this week, so shout out to What's Up Doug for filling in for me this week. So I appreciate that, Doug. So y'all guys go check it out if you haven't already. So appreciate you guys. I will see you on the other side. Remember, have fun, be safe. Love you guys. And as always, keep pounding. I'm out. Peace.